Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bastian Wurst. I am part of the Sage 100 team. I do a lot of consulting work. I do a lot of reporting work, and I'm as passionate about the reporting as Angie was about her fixed assets. I really do like doing this reporting stuff. I really enjoy that. As you might hear, I have a little bit of an accent, so I'm not from California. I'm from New Jersey. And I'm also German. I don't know what part is the accent from. I'm not really sure. All right. So my goal for the next 20 minutes here is it's not much time to talk about all these reporting stuff that is possible. So I want to give you like a brief overview about the reporting options you have within Sage 100. And from there, I want to focus on this one specific reporting tool, which is named Sage Intelligence, and tell you more about this. The reason why I want to do this is because I think it's a great tool that many of you already own, or at least own a part of it, that you could utilize. And many of you might not even be aware of that is there and what it can do for you. All right, so let's get started. So here's just a chart of like a few of the reporting tools that are available. And they all have their place in the Sage ecosystem. And actually, FYI Soft, they're here today. Great reporting tool for financial reporting if you have specific needs, a lot of distribution groups, security setup situations. It's a great tool. You can talk to them. You have Nectari, like a similar product. We can do a lot of reporting utilizing Crystal Reports. Many of you know that Sage 100 has these ODBC interface, open database connectivity, so you can basically create Crystal reports based off your data. You can use Excel directly, so you can pull data from Sage directly into Excel. There's Excel-based software like F9 that some businesses use. There is another Excel-based software called BizNet. Then within Sage, you also have like the Business Insights Explorer, Business Insight Reporter. So there's a variety of tools that are available. And there's also Sage Intelligence, and that's what I want to focus on with you here today. So what is Sage Intelligence? Sage Intelligence is a reporting tool that is open to not only Sage 100, but to like a lot of other data sources. So it can connect into a variety of ODBC enabled applications. This could be like Access databases. This could be a SQL server. This could be an Excel file. So there's a lot of databases that have this ODBC connectivity. And with Sage Intelligence, we are able to pull data from Sage, and at the same time pull data from these other data sources and merge the data into like one report in the end. So that opens a lot of possibilities. I have clients that for some reasons they're not using Budget Maestro, but they're also not using Sage 100 for their budgeting. They keep their budgets in Excel spreadsheets, for example. But now they want to run their financials, and they don't want to only see their actuals. They also want to see their budgets, and they want to see this like in one report. So with Sage Intelligence, we are able to do that. So we can pull in the financials through Sage Intelligence and then pull in the budgets from an Excel file that is static somewhere on their network, and they just click a button and it merges into one report. Okay, that would be one use scenario. One reason why I really like this tool is that the learning curve for a user to be able to create reporting is pretty awesome, because it is Excel-based. So if you have users in your organization that have Excel knowledge, that are Excel users that know their formulas, maybe even know a little bit about macros and stuff like this, know their pivot tables, they're pretty quick in like learning how to utilize Sage Intelligence. And I think when it comes to like discussing when you should use Sage Intelligence, I mean, there are always these reports where you just need a printout of something, okay? Then Sage Intelligence might not be the best option. Then it might be just a Crystal report that we can utilize. But a lot of times, you want to have the ability to later modify these reports, because you pull the data and then you have to do some other stuff. So you want this, in the end, you want it in Excel. And this is what Sage Intelligence is good for. Like you pull the data out of Sage, you prepare it into your report, and then you have it in Excel. And if it needs to be modified further, you already have the data perfectly in the way you need it for your further modifications in Excel. Or if you want to create charts and stuff like that out of it. Okay, so it is really good. It is really good for, like, I like to say, like, whatever data you have in Sage, we can report on. So it has a great component for financial reporting. So if you just do your financial reporting currently through FRX, or if you do it within Sage, you will really love the financial reporting capabilities of Sage Intelligence. You can drill down into your transaction, onto the transaction level. You can make your financials look like really the way you want them to look like. With all the bells and whistles that Excel offers, right? So we can format it, you can have conditional formatting on whatever happens. You are able to schedule reports with it, so we can set it up for you in a way that reports run on a daily, weekly basis. They get emailed out to specific team members, or they get dumped onto a network drive, or you could even set it up in a way that if a specific threshold is met, this person also gets copied on a report. Let's say you have like financial reports or sales reports, and they get sent out daily, but the CEO only needs to see these reports if a specific threshold is met or has not been met. Then you could set it up in a way that he only would be copied or she only would be copied on this report on a daily basis if this number is met or has not been met. All right, so let me quickly show you how that works. So as I said, we can connect into different databases. One database is the Sage 100 database, of course, and then we can connect into all these ODBC databases. There's a tool within Sage Intelligence called the connector. This is actually the piece of Sage Intelligence where the queries live. If you want to report on data, you need to have like the queries to get the data out of your data sources. So you need to tell your report, okay, I want to ask these 5 tables for information, and this is how I want this to be presented. If it's financial reporting, you don't need to worry about this. So Sage has this report designer add-in that does all of this with it. So you don't need to know which tables are hit by whatever financial information. It's already to go. If you are looking into like crazy sales reports, inventory reports, something like that, where that is very specific to your business, then either you yourself or we as SWK would need to create like a container that pulls the data out of Sage and dumps the data, the raw data, into the Excel sheet. And this is what the connector is for. We then have a report manager. The report manager is the tool where you actually maintain your reports. This is where you create your Excel templates and where you rename them and you put them into folders and make them accessible for your team. And to run a report, you basically go into the report manager, or there's also a component, the viewer, which just lets you run reports. You click on the button. If you have parameters, it will ask you for parameters, and from there, dump the information into your Excel workbook. And that's basically it. And as I mentioned before, we also have like several distribution options, so we can either, like by a click of the button from Excel, you can email it out, or it can be set up so these reports run at night and get dumped out automatically. I think Alan earlier mentioned Power BI, Microsoft Power BI. So Sage Intelligence is a great tool to integrate Sage data with Microsoft Power BI. So for everyone for people who don't know what Power BI is basically a dashboarding tool that helps you to visualize your data in like a very, very simple way. Like to create a dashboard like this is really not a big deal because all the templates are there. They're all available within Power BI. You only have to have the data for that. And the way how that can integrate with Sage Intelligence is you can set up these scheduled reports that we talked about and have them dump every night at a specific location, like a Microsoft OneDrive, where Power BI could pick those up, and they get dumped there, and Power BI picks them up, and you use your smartphone, your computer through a web browser, and look up your reporting there. And this is not like live dashboarding, because it's only as fresh as you set up the dump of the data. So if you say like on an hourly basis, on a daily basis, this is how fresh your data will be. But usually, most of the time, like a daily data dump is pretty much what people want to see. Like they want to see the sales numbers for the last day. They want to see the numbers from the last day, and that's fine to run the business on for most people. But it can be done more often if necessary. In Power BI, you can really visualize, if you take the sales data, and I've done that for clients, if you take sales data, sales invoice information, you can overlay this with maps in Power BI, and you can show by county, by zip code, what you sold into these areas, or by country, or by state. And they also offer you publicly available data like income levels. So if your business is kind of correlates with how much money people make in specific areas, and that's something that's interesting for your marketing team, you can overlay this information. You just put this layer of like the median income over your sales, and there might be a correlation. That's of course nothing that's important for every business, but for some businesses it's actually really useful information. There's other information you can overlay with your sales data. And this is to create one of these things within Power BI. It literally takes 5 minutes, to have like one of these visuals created based off your Sage data. So it's a great tool. And as Alan pointed out, it's not an investment on the Power BI side to get this done. If you want to have it updated on an hourly basis, then you need like a different licensing. But if you say like just once a day, then there is no real cost associated with like implementing this Power BI stuff. I would like to show you a few reporting possibilities that you have within Sage Intelligence. So this is one thing. Yeah, it's really hard to see, I guess. So this is an example of a daily sales report based on invoice information. So once a day, the client wants to see for the sales team where they stand with their sales. So you can't really see it, but what it does, it has it broken down by the Americas, then Pacific Asia, Europe, and Middle East and rest of the world, and they break this down so they see like today's invoices, they see months-to-date invoices, months-to-date prior year, so they can compare where they stand compared to the last year. They have some logic how they project for the rest of the months their information. So we do that, and they also compare it to their budgets. Is there any way to make this? Oh, you mean like if I change the resolution on my laptop? Oh, you mean that helps? Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks. All right, so again, this is just an example for a report that is based off non-financial data. And of course, these are not the real numbers for any client, but this report style is real. I just changed the numbers in there. And what I really want you to understand is, whatever you need is, we're in Excel. So if you want to see this in some different way, if we can pull it from Sage and if we can massage the data somehow in a way you need to see it, we are able to get you to the reporting that you need to see, the reporting that you want to see, right? Another example is financial information. So I talked about the report designer that Sage Intelligence offers, which is the tool that you would use for the financial reporting. And you might see this in my Excel spreadsheet on the right side here, I have this, this task pane. This is part of the report designer tool. And I just ran this for like 2 of the test companies I have in Sage. And what I did real quick earlier is I created just a few numbers. So you can use this to consolidate multiple companies throughout Sage. So if you happen to have like multiple companies, you want to report them next to each other in the same report, no problem. You want to also consolidate them if that's possible, if the chart of accounts match, or even if they don't match, it's a little more complicated, but it's possible to have your reporting for like different companies or for everything together. So what I did here, and this is how I usually create these financial reports. So I create, and you can have multiple reports. You can have your whole financial package within one Excel file if you want to. So I tend to create like one sheet where you are able to select your period, your year. If you report on budgets, your budget code. If you have multiple companies, we put an option in to let you select if you want to report on multiple companies, or if you want to just report on like one or 2 companies here. So this is just one thing where you would select what you want to report on. And also if you have reports where you look at like 12 months periods, you could say, I want to look at the current year, or no, right now I want to see it like rolling for the last 12 months. And it's really that simple. You just click there, change it, and the numbers will change instantly and show you this information. So it's a lot of flexibility. And let me show you some of these numbers. And don't think here about the design. So I didn't put any design thing in here, right? So whatever you want this to look like, whatever you need this to look like in Excel, can be done, right? This is just a few accounts. I have the account numbers on the left side. I do have the account descriptions here, and I have like the periods. So I have like this one company with numbers, and I have the other company with numbers. And so this one is like by company, and this one is the one that I selected. Now it says MFG, but if I go back here and I just say, well, actually I want to see the consolidated version, then I can go back here and I see the numbers consolidated. It's not just, in this case, I could just add them up by the account, but that's not how this is set up. So there are formulas in there. Sage Intelligence gives you a variety of formulas. I don't know if you can't see that. No, it doesn't get bigger. So it implements a few Excel formulas like GL closing balance, GL actual year to date, that let you that you would use like you use a sum formula. You put a few parameters and then it gives you these numbers. So this is how, it's sad that you can't really see how these formulas look like, but this is what Sage Intelligence is. It gives you these formulas and you can report on these accounts. So as you see here, we have this here on a per account basis with like fully qualified account numbers. If you go down here, you can also do this with ranges, right? You see here that I have my liability accounts. They're like 200 to 275. So instead of breaking down every account, I can also just write 200 to 275, and it comes out to the same number, of course, as I have here by adding the other ones up. This is just another way of like writing it. So you can use these ranges. You can use these joker signs, question marks. So I can say, I only want to see, in this case, I only want to see accounts that match this criteria. So 200 that have this 0, 10, and then I want these, just the last 3 I want to add up. So which, in my scenario, only gives me like the first account. Only this first account matches these jokers. I can do that. You can also add more stuff. You can say this to this plus 185, you know. So there's nothing in there. But it's really easy to like compose your financials in the way you want to see them. You can set it up to only show credits, to only show debits. It's all in these formulas. We have, I don't know who of you is using FRX or has been using FRX. You can set up reporting trees. So if you Good example, we have clients that run fast food joints. So they might have like 200 restaurants somewhere, right? And they have all these restaurants broken out in their chart of accounts. And the way how they might run their business is they might want to give the store manager their numbers, and they want to give the regional manager the numbers for all the stores, and they want to give, of course, like the headquarters all the numbers. So what we were able to do is we were able to create like one financial statement that includes all the accounts. Then we created these reporting trees, basically, that break out the stores and that break out, and they can be grouped. It was like child objects and stuff. They break out the stores and then break out the regions. And then we created just a simple macro with a click of a button. Then, so he runs his report. Then he just clicks a button and it will break out into PDF files or into different tabs, whatever he wants to do, the financial report packages. So it creates this chart of accounts or this financial package per store. Then it creates one that has all the stores. It creates this one for like the regional managers, and then it creates the whole package that has everything in it. So if your chart of accounts is set up that well and you have like divisions or whatever you want to report on, reporting trees really help you to utilize the same template for like a variety of different reporting needs if you only want to report on specific things within Sage. And one last feature that I would like to talk to you about is the drill down capability. So what I can do here is, as you see here, you see I have this number. This number is made up, in my case, by this 200 to 275 account range on the main account basis. So I can just right click here, and there's a drill down button. And what it does now, it drills down into the next level. In my case, the next level, since it's multiple accounts, the next level would be the single account basis. So my range of 200 to 275 was actually, the numbers actually were only made up by these 4 accounts that we see here, right? And then if I say, well, I just want to see a specific number and I want to see the transaction level, well, then I still can just right click on this number and go to the next level and say drill down, and it does the same thing. And now I'm on the transaction level, and it shows me my journal entries. In our case, this is like a test company, so there is no real activity in there. It's just this one entry. But if it would be like your real life data, you would then see whatever your 20 journal entries that made up the number that you saw before. So it's really easy to drill down into your financial reports and find issues you might have. You know something is off and it takes you forever to figure out what it is. Well, with this drill down capability, it's really easy, and it's much easier to do it like this way than it would be with just your PDF copy of a financial statement, and then you have to drill within Sage, right? That's all I want you to see today here. We have our cocktail hour later. If anyone is interested to talk more about this, I'm more than happy to talk about your specific scenarios, give you some ideas on what this could be good for, how you could utilize this. You can ask me any questions you want about this. What I usually see is that once clients start using this, either the people who create these reports really love it because it really saves some time. If you run these reports, like it takes some time to create them, right? But once you have them in place, you just click a button and they run. And the good thing is they will always be the same. So there is no human error anymore. Like once the report is set up, you know you get good results from it. So the people save time, the team saves time, and they like that. And also management usually likes it because it gives much more visibility into whatever information you want to report on. So feel free to talk to me later. I'm more than happy to share all my wisdom on that with you. All right. Thank you very much.